Okay. So yeah, I was saying that we will go through the problem statement, the solution, the innovation, short demo. Am I audible now?
You're audible, sir, but it seems internet connectivity is very feeble at your end. Do have a check.
Okay.
However,
I'm
you're audible.
sorry about that. Let me just.
Rahul, you can stop the timer now.
Hi, I'm back. Am I audible now again? Is this better?
Yes, you're audible.
Yeah, we can hear you.
Yes, you're audible.
All right. Sorry about that. All right. So let's get going. I wanted to start with the problem overview first. See, this is a B2B marketing campaign management, and the customer journey in B2B is quite complex because there are various stages if you look at it as a funnel. Till the point you get to the right target audience, there's a lot of things that you will have to consider. So there are different systems. Each system will have its own outcome and metrics. But what clients really are looking at is a comprehensive view of the entire data across all their marketing funnel. The challenges for advertisers are as below. There is not one single person that they have to target in a B2B scenario, unlike B2C. There's usually an audience committee. To find that audience committee is difficult. The data that you have for targeting is also very limited. You just have a company name, a job title, and an email address. What you can do with that is very limited. You can do some descriptive analytics, but you really can't generate some actionable insights given this data points. So what people rely on is generating reports, but report generation itself is not trivial. You will have to go look at internal database, external data sets for web, real world events, and so on, to actually put together a report that is compelling and gives you a clear picture of why your campaign is performed in a certain way. So what our clients are asking really for is don't just describe and summarize our campaign performance, but give us some good insights and recommendation, give us some action points. Let's say we want to follow up with a particular target audience set. How do we do that? And maybe some hard-hitting research questions like, how is this particular industry outlook for a particular time period? So what we did is we started developing a solution completely based on data principles. So we have the transactional system, which has the campaign data. That's our starting point. And then we use AI to convert that core information of data core data into information data, and followed by knowledge, again using AI. So there are two components here of our data journey. So this is the platform view, the ground level view. You can see the data lineage here. You have core data. Core data is integrated with several systems, and then it is enriched using our AI models. We have filed 3 patents for that. Enriched data is then contextualized using RAG framework, and then finally we get the output in form of a report. The itself is basically a storytelling way of doing a report. Ask a question about your campaign, and then it'll generate a slide. It'll have some charts, tables. We will see that next. I want to spend some time on the innovation part. Like I said, there are 2 components. This is the data part, the enrichment part of the innovation. This is pretty much how we start. We get some content, we get some company details and job titles, we integrate and add more details to the company. And then a bulk of the enrichment happens with our AI models, which will have the keywords, skills, topics, categories, job function areas, seniority, and so on. But what we do then is, and all this is in the background, not in real time, is we look at all the the taxonomies, the dictionaries, the classification systems within demand science, and then allow the Gen AI to discover relationships, LLMs to discover the relationship between these data elements. And that creates a very powerful metadata. The second part of the innovation is the application. This is a simple architecture. user asking a question in natural language. The enriched data is in some database that is fetched, passed on to a RAG cycle. We use very simple agents, nothing complex, some tools, function callings, reflection strategies, guardrails. What we get as an output for the question is sent back to the application in form of a slide. The slide would look something like this. So what I will do is I'll spend show a quick demo here. Welcome to a quick demo of CXR for create. That's similar to start building a performing assets. Now let's add science persona, edit or format text. And your slide is ready. Let's add one more slide. Complex query here. Choose a layout which is textual. Now you're asking the system to identify the top 3 industries and provide an outlook for the top 3 most responsive industry. And that's about it. Let's finish off this presentation by adding a conclusion slide. The report is automatically saved and we can export into a PowerPoint presentation. Thank you for your attention. All right, so that was a short demo and we can discuss more about the feature. I want to first spend a little bit time on how we differentiate. So there are marketing platforms and then there are analytic platforms that are powered Gen AI. Ours is a platform that is clearly doing the analytics part for a domain, which is B2B marketing. So if you look at purely marketing platforms like Marketo, they do not necessarily have declared that they use LLMs or an advanced level of analytics. On the other side, Google Looker, AWS Quick Insight actually are very powerful LLM-driven, Gen AI-driven platform, but they do not have the capability to enrich data like the way we do. And then there are some social media analytics, LLM-driven platforms as well. We don't really work on that space. The advantage that we bring in with CXR is we allow, so instead of users downloading data in Excel, doing some lookups, pivot tables, copying the in a slide, what we do is ask the user to go to our system, ask a question, get a response, and not just a simple chart, but a well-researched response. And then we also, this also allows for a consistent report format and reduces the time spent from 4 days of research typically takes for a report to 4 hours. We have a very strong market potential here. We grow from 3 to 6% of the market cap. And how we want to do it is through providing enriched data to our client. Depending on the depth of enrichment, I think on an average, we can put a premium of 75%. And we already have a cost savings because of the decrease in the data procurement, the research, and the time taken data pipelines. In total, we have calculated roughly about 16 million for a payback. If we externalize this tool and add licenses, etc., we can think of another 25 million and additional revenue in the 5-year time frame. From a we are looking purely from a goal 8.2 of the UN SDG framework, where we want to free up the market, focus on creative work. The main important thing is we are focusing on small, medium enterprises. They don't have a lot of marketing professionals or data analysts who can sit and look at the market conditions, the campaign data, and try to figure out what's the best next action. What we want to do with this is provide them a simple tool which is quick, reliable, relevant, and cost effective. There is also an ethical AI perspective that I can give that requires a lot more discussion. Customers don't want to spend a lot of money, but they want a high level of service. And CXR provides exactly that. It provides reliable, relevant, and actionable insights and recommendation on all the campaigns that the customers have run. My presentation here, India is the R&D center here for demand science, and I'm open to questions now. Sorry about the, I don't know if my internet was really good, but I hope
Yes,
you
it
were able
was
to get the
fine,
gist of
Mr.
it.
Abhinay. It
Thank
was fine. You try to turn on your video if, let's see if it's possible.
you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or any of the tutor would like to go first with the question. Dr. Nair, would you like to go first?
Yeah, thank you. I just wanted to know that in the first slide you had mentioned AI reporting for customer experience, right? That is what you mentioned. So I'm not too sure about what exactly you meant there. But imagine if I am a customer, what kind of a what kind of a thing do I get in the process in this whole
Okay.
exercise?
So yeah, so it's the motive behind that was we have a customer experience team, and the customer experience team is to ensure customer success when we run a campaign. And the part of customer success is telling them if they have to diversify their campaign strategy. And that's the job of the customer experience team, actually. So CX is a team, and we have built this tool specifically for the CX. And that's what it means.
So does it mean that after the CX team takes these reports, the customers maybe feedback would become better?
Absolutely. What we want to do is when the typical way this happens is we get into a call with a customer, open this application, and there are right now a rich set of FAQs that we have built. Customer would like to say, for example, ask, okay, tell me the top 3 companies that have responded well on this campaign, and give me a way of how should I follow with them. And the customer experience team member who is supposed to answer this question actually goes into the tool and asks this question and then gets a slide. And he or she then explains the entire process to them.
Okay. Okay. So how do you assess the system? How do you assess the efficiency?
Right. So there were 2 parts to this. Like I said, there is an data enrichment part, which was based on AI models. And obviously, we have to ensure. So the whole idea of this is to give 100% accurate data back to their customer every time, which means that if we have generated 1001 lead, we cannot say that we generated 1002 leads. We have to be very specific. So the one of the main criteria is every report that is generated is factually correct. That is one level of assessment we do. The second level of assessment is every enriched data that we have added, is there a measurement of how well that enriched data is? And for that, we go back to the traditional ways of measuring the classification system or an extraction system. Um, and then finally, we have, so basically, when we build the system, we have done some crowdsourcing and built a ground truth for everything. Our CX team itself has built a lot of ground truth for how the response should look like, how the chart should look like. And then everybody has evaluated this in this entire uh, training and validation steps.
So this is a manual exercise.
The training is the data generation, you mean, sir?
This kind of evaluation is what I mean.
Evaluation is manual. We have automated now. So once we had the base ground truth, now what we are doing is we are evaluating different models because we have a ground truth. And for that, we use the ragas. We have a ground truth. We put it through. We have done with GPT-4o, Claude 3.0, Sonnet. We have done with Mixtral. We have done with several other, and we have used Aragas basically. It's an open source tool to
Okay.
evaluate.
Okay. Okay. Thank you so much. So much from my side.
Thank you, Professor.
Just follow up from Professor Nair's question. When you have this data generated decisions with your factual check, because we've done some work on semantic parsing. So when you have a question, you turn that into maybe a SQL statement, and the SQL statement goes back to your database to do all the aggregation and mathematical calculation, whatever that you need. And that's one way of ensuring accuracy. So semantic parsing normally give you better accuracy, but if the past SQL is inaccurate, obviously you get wrong results, right? And then large language models is really bad at doing things like this.
Exactly.
As compared to purposely trained model. So I'm just sort of curious of what you have done to make sure the return results are accurate. Yeah.
Yeah. So you've hit the nail on the head. We have not used large language models for generating text to SQL because we tried that, and given the complexity of the data schema, we were not very successful initially. Over a period of time, we have been able to get something. But what we did is very simple. We created a template. It's a custom template. You can call it as, it's a non-LLM, non-AI template. All we have to do is use the AI to just parse, but we have a templatized version of in-house built to take the data points. Are you slicing it? Are you reporting on it? And stuff like that. And then we build the SQL ourselves. And this has been 100% accurate. We have never gone wrong with this because this is a very deterministic way of doing it. We specifically moved away from LLM because we knew there are problems.
Yeah. Plus, you purposely built a set of query templates so your customer can make use of it. Thank you.
Thanks, Dr.
Yeah, that's all from my side. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
So I have a query which can be considered as a follow-up from the previous question. So since you have a query templates, I mean, can there be cases where, so firstly, how do you match and identify the correct template? And secondly, can there be cases where the query that has been put forward by the customer cannot be addressed by any of the existing query templates? And what would be your action at that point of time?
Yeah. So second part first. There are in this entire campaign system, there are about 20 very important data points that we have built, and we are slowly enhancing. So we started with 3, then we came to 20, and now we will move to 25. The template is in such a way that there are only 2 ways of asking a question, looking at it. Are you slicing the data in a certain dimension? And are you reporting the data for a certain data point, right? These are the 2 things. And then the third aspect would be, is it specific to a campaign, which is the where clause, right? The campaign ID and so on. And then you may want to do some bit of aggregation, and you may want to do some bit of give me the top 3 instead of giving me everything. Give me the top 5. So there are just 4 elements: the dimensions, the facts, the top K, and the where clause. So what we've done is we provided a very simple, framework for that. It's like a page where you just enter, click, and then ask. So what this does is it will use this in a certain way and build the SQL queries. If it comes to a situation where we have really complex, so this is a one and done, by the way. We don't want to complicate it by asking a question over another question. That can get complicated, as you said. So right now what we're doing is one and done. Now, if you want to refine your question, you can obviously refine that question, and it will again be a one and done situation.
So for example, there can be some joins between tables, and sometimes it can be a join between 2 tables or more number of tables.
Yes. So that's possible. Absolutely possible. You are asking for a recommendation from a recommendation sits in a different table, insights sit in a different table, the core data sits in a different table, and those absolutely are possible. We've never faced a problem there.
Okay, thank you.
Thanks, Dr. Mananja.
And Judith, I believe the questions have been closed for you. Any of the judo have any follow-up questions? So check.
Gavin, sorry, I missed you.
Mr. Raghunandan?
Yeah.
I just asked jurors if they have any follow-up questions.
Okay.
I checked on this and I don't think so they have, and the time is closing. For
It's a good work,
Q&As.
Thanks, Bhupesh. Thank you.
Raghunandan, I have shared a link with you, which is in your chat box. Please do